Okay, so here we are, part 3. Exciting. I've never made it part 3 before. 270. You hurl the garlic at the vampire and dash for the door. He shrieks, trying to brush off the garlic as you fling it open. It opens into a cupboard, but a rather unusual one. The back wall has a slide aside, revealing a secret passageway. The vampire is rising to his feet again, so you decide to risk what lies ahead and step through the passageway, slamming both doors behind you. Turn to 102. Secret passageway. God. No haunted house is complete without one. 102. Here we go. The passageway is narrow and only the faintest glow lights your way. After a short distance you come to a staircase which leads downwards. Slowly and cautiously you go down the stairs. After a dozen or so steps you reach another landing. The stairs continue downwards at the landing, and you may either follow them down or you may try a door in the wall on the landing. Downstairs, follow the door. Let's try the door. 24. This is a big house, isn't it? 24. The door opens and you find yourself in a small room. There is another door leading off the room, but in front of you is a strange sight which catches your attention. A shimmering haze seems to be hanging on the wall, almost like a curtain of sparkling water. You step up to investigate and gingerly hold out your finger to touch it. Your finger passes right through. Plucking up your courage, you poke your head into the haze, like the pictures in Mario 64. That's what I'm imagining. On the other side, you realise what has happened. Your head has emerged through a large mirror into a reception room. On the wall opposite is a huge mural of a country scene, and standing in the middle of the room are a table and 6 chairs. The sound of voices outside the door startles you and you draw your head back. Will you wait until the way is clear and step through the mirror, try the other door in this little room behind the mirror, or will you instead go back to the stairs and follow them down? Let's wait until the way is clear and step through the mirror. We're going to go through the looking glass, like one of my favourite Symphony X songs. I might just put in a clip of that. And there she stood in mystery. Because I love Symphony X and I don't talk about them enough. When Super Mario Odyssey came out, I did a Photoshop of Symphony X's The Odyssey and put Cape onto the sailor's head. Through the Looking Glass isn't from that album, it's from Twilight in Olympus, which is what Odyssey would have been. So Symphony X's third, I'm going to talk about Symphony X for a bit. Symphony X's third album, The Divine Wings of Tragedy, On the Edge of Paradise, I think was like their first big hit, and the record company was like, right, you've got to do it again. And they made them put out an album in like 1 year's time, which is really quick for these guys. It's usually about 5 years between albums. So 1 year after Divine Wings of Tragedy, they came out with Twilight in Olympus, which was missing like its big song. In Divine Wings it had the big song Divine Wings of Tragedy, but Twilight in Olympus there was no like real big whatever, there was no Twilight in Olympus, but there's some great songs on that album. Smoke and Mirrors, Church of the Machine, I think, is Twilight in Olympus. It might not be. But Through the Looking Glass definitely is. And anyway, then they did a few more after that. I think after Twilight in Olympus it was V, New Mythology, and then after that they came out with The Odyssey, which has a 26-minute song on it called The Odyssey, which is what Twilight in Olympus would have been if they had the time to work on the album. Interesting stuff that, isn't it? I've lost the passage. Worth detouring. Yeah. Will you go through the mirror? Yeah, wait until close to clear and go through the mirror. A dream within a dream. Dream within a dream. Dream within a dream. God, I bloody love Symphony X. You wait until there is silence in the drawing room and step carefully back through the mirror into the room. The coast is clear. You walk over to the door and leave the room. Turn to 131. I was kind of hoping there'd be some exciting thing to discover in that room. I guess it's just a dining room. Could have had some more poison food, couldn't I? Turn to 131. Done all sorts of secret passageway, fought a vampire, gone to a room behind a mirror. You leave the room cautiously and look around in the hallway. There is no one in sight. There is a door to your left which you may try by turning to 211. Otherwise you may turn right and follow the hallway around. How the hell am I going to map this for next year? Not am I? There's a door to your left which you may try by turning 211. Yes, try all doors. 211. I might cut out that long speech I did about Symphony X. The door is locked and you will not be able to open it. You turn round and follow the hallway. Turn to 58. What was the point of that? Illusion of choice, just like a Telltale game. Turn to 58. Whoa. The hallway widens. You walk across to another hallway and continue in the direction you were walking until you reach two doors opposite each other. Will you try the door on the right or the door on the left? Jeez. It's just a procession of doors, so many doors. It's like that scene in The Matrix Reloaded, which is a great film, no matter what anybody says. I just want to show you, there's a picture of like a scary looking hunchback man. And the other side's got nothing to do with the passage we're reading, but spooky all the same. And also, in the passage we're on right now, I can see the one directly below it starts with the words, "The door is locked." So I guess we encounter that a few times. The direction you're walking, two doors opposite each other. Will you try the door on the right or the door on the left? Go for the door on the left because I'm left-handed. There's a bit of info. 323. Left-handed, just like Link in The Legend of Zelda. I think he's left-handed. Although he's right-handed in Skyward Sword, isn't it? Because of the motion controls. The door is locked. Can you believe that? The door is locked. The handle and lock are part of an ornate metal plate. Do you have a cast iron key with you? No. If so, deduct the number of the key from the reference number and turn to the resulting reference to open the door. Otherwise, you may try the door opposite. They've been tricky there, so I have to have the key. I have to have found the key so I know the number on it. I can't just decide in this passage, oh yeah, let's say I have a key, because I literally don't know the number. Tricky. It's like those old anti-piracy measures in video games, like Eye of the Beholder or something. You get to the end of the first level and it says, now type in the first word of the second paragraph on page 23 of the manual. And if you haven't bought the game, you don't have the manual, so you can't do that. Tricky. Tricky, Steve Jackson. Bugger. Otherwise, you must try the opposite door, and quickly, because you can hear footsteps approaching from the hallway. Turn to 118. A lot of footsteps in this game. Footsteps, footsteps. 118. The door opens and you enter the kitchen. I was thinking then, why is 118 familiar? And it's that advice line, isn't it? 118. Got your number? Only makes sense in the UK about 8 years ago. The room is empty and immediately tidy, with all the knives, pots and pans hanging in neat rows along the walls. A double sink is set under a window next to a large cooker and fridge. A great square table stands in the centre of the room. There are two doors. Jesus. One leads outside and the other looks like a pantry door. A large bunch of keys lies on top of the cooker. Do you want to try the back door leading outside? No, because I've mentioned this before. If we could get out of the house, that would just be the end of the adventure, and we haven't defeated any Dark Lords or saved that district nurse who's also supposed to be in the house. Try the other door, or to grab the bunch of keys on the cooker. We obviously want the keys. They've got to turn in handy. Turn to 148. Turn in handy, I said then, like that's an expression. 148. You take the stopper off the... What? Oh, no, that was 149. I was like, that doesn't make sense. 148. You pick up the bunch of keys and start to flick through them. You scream loudly and drop the keys on the floor, for they are red hot. Is that really offensive, what I just did then? I'm leaving it in. It was the sound of me being dumb, making fun of my own dumbness. But as soon as I did it, I thought, hang about, is that me making fun of, like, I don't know what, people who make that noise? Whatever. For they are red hot. And here are, please don't leave angry comments. For they are red hot, and you have severely burnt your hand. You were using your weapon hand and must lose 3 stamina and 2 skill points. But if you wish, you may test your luck. A lucky roll means that you weren't using your weapon hand after all, and you only lose 1 stamina point. Alright, let's test our luck. We haven't done that yet. I've forgotten what our luck score is. Luck of 10. Right, we've got good odds, so all we have to do is roll 2 die and get a score of less than or equal to your luck. I think it's less than or equal. Oh, let's find out. If I get a score that's equal, I'll look it up to make sure. I got a score of 3, so that's great. We passed. Bringing the luck down to 9 if we need to test it again. Probably not. I've got a feeling I'm going to be dead soon anyway. So a lucky roll means you weren't using your weapon hand, so we don't have to take a skill deduction and only lose 1 stamina point. Great. That still knocks us down to what? 3 stamina, 2 hits and we're dead. But it is at 4 stamina anyway, so we haven't really lost anything. The scream and clatter of the falling keys have made quite the noise. Turn to 254. I think we're dead anyways. Probably attracted some monster that we're going to have to fight. 254. Yeah. Your fears are confirmed. When the door opens, the noise has attracted the attention of some mysterious friends of the Earl of Drummer. Yeah, Kelnor is the Earl of Drummer and he's the master of the house. Song, Master of the House from Les Miserables. 4 men enter the room, all dressed in white robes and wearing goats' heads to conceal their faces. Jeez. They are armed with knives and lengths of wood. It would be foolish to resist them. Grabbing your wrist, they take you downstairs into the cellars. There you enter a room in which there are 4 prison cells. 3 are already occupied, but the 4th is empty. You will be detained here at the Earl's pleasure. Your adventure has ended. Oh, no! Can you believe it? Can you actually believe it? What was the point of testing our luck? We were lucky. I think I was just to fool me that I wasn't the end of the adventure. So I think if you go for the keys on the oven, that's it, you're dead. I didn't know the oven was on. Jeez. Well, that's your lesson for today, kids. Don't pick up heavy metal objects that are lying on top of ovens which have been turned on, because you'll get dragged away from some goat men and probably knifed to death in all occasions. Damn. Bloody hell. Oh well, that's the end of the adventure for another year. Surprise, surprise, we died again. I'm saying we, it's all me, innit? I say we just to like, I'm not using the royal we, I mean me and you, viewer. To like, sort of like, push some of the blame on you, I guess. Join me in 2018 for another run, although someone may have to leave another comment to sort of get me to do it. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.